Three, two, one. Welcome to Cultured Creative Podcast. I'm your host Lucky Benge, and today on our special edition, we are having Kabelo Ramasia, the main man of MakeThingsMake. How are you, sir?
Philip.
I'm Nandi Bro. I'm Tamban.
Sure.
Brother man, please tell us more about yourself and your upbringing. First. Same time.
So, I don't have anything profound or movingly bold to say about myself, bro. I don't want to lie. Like you said, name is Kabelo Ramasia. I'm a creative entrepreneur, and ideas are my favorite things.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, so I was one time with you at this other event. You were also part of it, and then you mentioned something about Braamfontein, and then that's where I saw that like me and you, we have maybe something similar. When was your first time going to Braamfontein, and what were you doing there?
So, yo, man. I think this was back in 2015. Yeah, 2015. Fresh out of high school, and sorry, I was really exposed to like a whole different, environment, culture.
Yeah.
And yeah, I pretty much spent half of the year that side, just getting inspired.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to know why I was going there. Do you want to tap into like the reason why I was going there frequently?
Why you were going there and what were you doing there?
So what happened was, 2014, that's when I did my matric, right?
Yeah.
And then, I obviously had plans of furthering my studies, but life happened. By that I mean I couldn't afford to go to, not necessarily further my studies, but when you're young, you are specific with what you want, and you are too young to understand certain things, right? So by this I mean I could have easily went to school if I really wanted to go to school, to just any, faculty or whatever the case might be. But because I was young and I've always been this kid that has always been precise and specific about what he wants. So even with the school that I wanted to go to further my studies to, I was very precise with those, right? So I wanted to go to Boston Media House or City Varsity.
Okay.
Those were the top two that I really wanted to go to.
What did you want to do?
I'm glad that you asked that, because I think grade 11, that's when I kind of sort of like understood what I wanted and who I was, and that's where I realized that I've always been into just knowing more about, media itself, right? So I've always been obsessed and fixated on the idea of just knowing how do you start your own brand,
Yeah.
So I knew those two specific institutions, are the pioneers. I think they still are, now. So I just really wanted to go there because of that. So unfortunately, 2015 I'm done, I'm home. Now we're having these conversations with my family. And 2015, when I was fresh out of high school, my sister was completing her final year at, a college that she was studying at.
Yeah.
And I grew up in a household where only my dad was working at the time. So my mother's never been a working type. She's always been a queen, So yeah, man. And 2015, that's when we had that uncomfortable conversation where they were telling me that they don't have money to take me to these two specific institutions.
Yeah.
And there were options on the table of me going to like your, what do they call it? Public institutions, yeah. But at that time, like I'm saying, I was young, I was naive. I felt like the world owed me something.
Yeah.
So I didn't want anything but these two.
Yeah.
So as soon as we had that discussion, I was like, okay, cool. That means I'm not gonna go anyway. So I was practically at home, not doing shit. And there was this one guy that I used to attend class with back in high school.
Yeah.
Not really friends, but we spoke. We spoke a lot about music. And it happened that the following year, 2015, we still kept contact, right? And he went to Braamfontein, right? And, we maintained contact. And, what happened then was, because I was at home not doing anything, LPO, Let's Play Outside, started hosting workshops, right? And this guy...
That was a great time, man.
Yeah, it was a great time. So this guy put me on that. He's like, yo, you're not doing anything, and there's this cool thing happening. I think that you might be interested in.
Yeah.
So pull up. So this one Saturday, went that side. I never looked back. Never looked back. And, yo, man, like I'm talking about it and I'm just trying to like reminisce about anything,
It was a great time, man, because I remember even me, like my first time going to LPO was those workshops. Yeah, meeting people that are doing what you want to do, but you don't even know that you really want to do this, or who are you, and they can tell you. Yeah, so my question, what were you doing when you were young, dog? Like, even today, I'm still trying to, like, figure out what were you really doing when you were you playing soccer, were you in music, were you cramping, were you skating, like, what were you doing? Because, like, now, if I'm trying to think, whatever that you're doing now, there's a lot, like, it can't be music.
Yeah.
Okay, Fede, there's soccer involved, but okay, we're gonna go to that. Yeah, but like, what were you doing when you were young?
Man, I had a very colorful upbringing, bro.
Yeah.
Like you said, I was playing soccer, like, back in primary school. Yeah, man, I played soccer all my life. Come to think about it. But then I get to high school, now you get exposed to a lot of things. So it's like you get exposed to a lot of things. And I kept on playing, but not regularly anymore, right? So it moved from me playing soccer to now me tapping into entrepreneurship.
Okay.
But now I can speak about it like that, and it sounds cool as fuck. But when I was doing it at that time, it was honestly from a place of, this is in high school, I was about grade 10, just really wanted to be the cool kid at school. So started really tapping into like, entrepreneurship in a sense of like selling, I remember these, what did they call it, bro? There was these, they call it, I think, fuck, I might mess it up because I'm trying to think of a name. But I started selling like, candy, obviously with getting shit for that.
Because you're not allowed to sell.
You're not allowed to sell at school. And I didn't have a reason for me to do all of that shit. Because I would still get like, lunch fee.
Okay.
I was good, but it was honestly because of I just wanted, to be that guy.
Or the cool one.
Yeah. So started doing that. Through that, now I started making a bit of money. Now, as soon as you do that, there's no turning back, bro. From that now, started tapping into fashion with my friends, and started like designing. I remember at some point we were selling t-shirts. Yeah, we were selling t-shirts at school. We were doing photo shoots.
Like at high school?
High school, bro. I think this is like grade 11, 10. Did like a couple of photo shoots. You know, moved from there. I was once a rap at some point. You know, so I might even just bust a freestyle.
Shout out to KB.
Messing around. But like, you know, hence I'm saying like I did a bit of everything, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question,
Yeah.
but I did a lot of shit while I was
So
doing
there's no specific thing that like you were doing this alone. You were just doing a lot of things.
a lot of things, bro. I was
Yeah.
an athlete.
Yeah.
I was a cheerleader. Bro, I was everywhere, bro. Like, I was everywhere. The only thing that I don't think that I did, which I think, obviously now because I know better, given the chance to go back, is public, what is it, public speech, public speaking, whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. I think about it now, I'm like, fuck.
You're supposed to do that.
Fuck, yeah, you know?
Yeah.
But that's also because of now, you know, I'm grown, I can speak a bit better.
Yeah.
I don't think I was, you know, this expressive back then, but it would have been cool for me to exercise that muscle back in high school.
So how did it start, like your public speaking? Like to know that now I can speak in front of these 2 people or these 10 people or these 100 people. Because I know for sure, like you do that and like so beautiful, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thing is, bro, like when I think about it, there's always been signs of me doing it, but
Yeah.
I don't know why. I guess, okay, this is what it is, right? I didn't really venture into public speaking because back in the days, it used to be for, or that's what we thought, or that's what I thought, when you walk inside a classroom of kids that are doing this public speaking, whatever, it was always for the kids that are excelling in academics, bro.
Sure.
You know, so for me, and that's one thing about me that I constantly tell the people that I maintain contact with on a regular, that one thing about me that I don't necessarily, I don't want to say I regret, but one thing that I don't know, man, I don't know how to like, but one thing that if there's one thing that I could change about myself is like, I look at my life and I'm like, fuck, I've been acting less smart than I actually am or was, you know?
Sure.
So, yeah, but there's always been signs of me because one thing that I've known that I've been doing quite well was whenever we had to do like oral, like a speech in front of the class, that was my shit, bro.
Yeah.
That was my shit. And I would get teachers always telling me that, yo, you should consider doing radio, you should consider doing this, you should, you know? So I've always known that I can speak, I can do a bit of that, but I was just, I wasn't really looking into like doing it like on that level of like, you know?
Because obviously you're still young.
I'm still young, Like I said, also I was a cheerleader at some point.
Yeah.
So it's like when you're a cheerleader, you have to address the spectators and say, yo,
This is how
we're gonna be doing it.
Yeah.
This is how the song goes.
Yeah.
You know, so there's always been signs of me actually having the capabilities of doing that, but I just didn't, I don't know. Yeah.
So tell us about like going to Jersey, this guy taking you there and then meeting these people. How did you get to the KB that we know now?
So I started going there. So I think it became like a thing that happened more often, right?
Okay.
So me just going that side just really changed how I
see the world.
you know, because yo man, I was inspired. I was inspired because
I relate.
in that very same room, you would find a lot of kids that are in a very same predicament as you. And you know what that does? That actually like
Gives you hope.
it gives you hope.
Yeah, it gives you.
You know what I'm trying to say? And yeah, man, I started going there frequently. I started meeting people, exchanging contacts, you know, and then man, I was never the same person.
Yeah.
Never the same person.
So what were you doing then? Because I know for sure in these workshops they were like painters, they were like your musicians, your all these creatives that were there. So what were you doing there?
I was there to just get inspired, bro.
Yeah.
Like I was part of the audience.
Yeah.
There was nothing that I was not contributing anything creatively.
Yeah.
You know, I went there just to get inspired. I just also remember I'm sitting at home, I'm not doing shit.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
So I really needed like, I really needed like a sense of belonging. And that's where I got to like, feel that. So I was there as a regular human being, just there to get inspired, make contacts, network, and I think 6 months later, I just came back home and started like conceptualizing, planning, started moving,
what was your first thing when you came back home to do?
So after getting inspired, came back home. So what happened there also that I did not mention was being that side, I was meeting a lot of people that were from the vaal. For me, that was like the first, what is it? It was the first sign to say, okay,
Another movement that's
besides that, but it was a sign to say, if we can come all the way to Joburg for this, clearly there's a need for that side. You know what I'm trying to say? So then I came back home, like I said, started conceptualizing, and then, that's when the birth of MakeThingsMake happened.
when did this happen?
So this is all in 2015, right? So I started so I did my first workshop. For those that doesn't know, or for those that don't know what MakeThingsMake is, it's a series of workshops that presents the creative industry as, an alternative to like your regular 9-to-5 jobs, like a doctor, like a teacher, So the first one we did was back in 2015, I think around June. I might be messing up the timeline, bro. But I remember the first one, how we did it, because it was something relatively new in the vaal, and I was not even sure of the reception of it. So the first one that I did, I remember, I didn't open it to the public. The first one that I did, it was very private. By that I mean, I literally sat down and I wrote an invitation letter with my hand, right? And then from there, I had to go to the internet cafe, made a couple of copies. So each letter had a name of people that I invited.
Okay.
Just
the guest or
no, no, this is the first one.
Okay.
So the first one was more about introducing the idea, to the people that I was in contact with at the time, So that's what I did. I think I had like 25, 30 guests. Could be even less, I think 15, 20, I don't know. After doing those letters, I would hit you up, say, yo, I'm working on something new, I'm gonna be in town, I wanna give you something, meet up, give you like the letter. And with that also, because I was at home, had a lot of time on my hands, I was reading a lot. I read somewhere that people like to feel important. So if you're gonna be inviting someone to a social, to whatever it might be, if you're directing it to the person, like best believe, the person is gonna try all means to,
to make it.
to make it, as opposed to you just putting it up on the internet, bro. So that's what I did. Kind of sort of picked that up online when I was reading it, and then I met with a couple of people, gave them those letters. On that letter, it would state, "Hi Naki, hope you've been good. You've been invited to the first installment of MakeThingsMake, and this is going to be a series of workshops. So I explain all the mechanics and how it's going to work. It's a new concept in the vaal. Would like you to honor the invitation to be one of, the attendees to come and give you, constructive criticism. People came through, but also after giving out those letters, because I'm not really trying to miss any gaps in the story, right? After that, I now have to go and find a venue for this, and then at that time, there was a place called Intersections, right? Just nearby Town Shopping Complex. I think now it's a funeral, what now. But at that time, it was like a cafe, a pub.
Okay.
I went there, spoke to the owner of the place, told the owner of the place that I'm gonna do this thing here.
How old are you this time? 19?
Bro, like I'm fresh out of high school, bro, So when they spoke to the owner, because I knew also the place was operating a lot during the night time.
Okay.
So during the day it's quiet. So I went down like I wanna do this on Saturdays, gonna use the place for like 3 hours, then the owner's like, yeah, I'm gonna charge you for that. Don't know why, but hey man, business is business at the end of the day. Man, couldn't do shit. Had to go back home, hustle money to pay the venue for those hours. By the way, bear in mind that I don't even charge people to come in, so I'm not making any money out of this thing. So paid the day, people came through. This is the first one. People came through, explained everything to the people. Oh, bro, people loved it, bro. Like people loved it, and they obviously took a couple of pictures on the internet. Now, people on Facebook, people on these different social platforms, but I think Facebook was the main one at the time. I don't think Instagram was around, I'm not too sure. Maybe it was around, but we were not inside like that, It was not,
It was for these big creators at the time.
Whenever we come up from an era of Tumblr, there was Tumblr back in the days, whatever. So started posting pictures on Facebook. Now people that are not invited feel some type of way. What's this? Why were we not invited? But that was intentional.
Okay.
Now people will start.
So who are these people, like your bros or?
A lot of the people that I invited back in the days were my friends, People that I
were
went back,
invited.
that I invited for the first one. Were my friends that I went back, that I attend high school with. So people saw it on Facebook, people were like, what is this? It's cool. Whatever. And then there was a demand now. And then for the second one now, started like making it public, started like creating a poster. The first one didn't even have a poster. If you were invited, you were gonna be there type thing. Then the second one started like creating a poster, started now inviting a couple of guests to come through and give a talk. And
so like when I say make things make, what's like the reference of that? Like where do you take that reference of, like, I want to do this thing like this, I want it to be in this format and I'm gonna be doing this to these people.
LPO, bro. Nothing is to do under the sun. So I really liked that concept that they did. It really inspired me. But more than anything, like I said, the fact that I kept on seeing people from the vaal triangle coming or going that side, for me showed me that okay, there's a need for this, but nobody's really creating it, So one of my ethos is if it doesn't exist, create it. So, but also how I actually went about it, because at that time I'm young, I don't know how people feel about things. I remember I scheduled a meeting with the founder of NPO. We had to sit down, find a coffee, and a talk. I was like, yo, I really like what you're doing, bro. And what I'm realizing is, I think I have a picture up on Facebook somewhere because we even took a picture. That brother was so kind, bought coffee for me, chopped it up. And then I told him, I'm like, I really like what you're doing. I want to do this for the vaal, bro. Because I see a lot of people from the vaal. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Guy was like, bro,
Let's do it.
I cannot, this is not about me, bro, it's bigger than me. Do it.
Yeah.
So that's where the inspiration came from.
Yeah.
That's where the blueprint comes from.
Yeah.
You know, so, but obviously I'm trying to do it my way.
Your way.
Yeah, so, yeah, man. So that's how a lot of people kind of sort of like know me or know the brand behind Make Things Make. That's like our claim to fame.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
So, what's this? I wanted to ask you something that you just mentioned. Like Fry Pan.
Yeah.
How did you get to know him? Like, how did you knew that this is Fry Pan? And then at that time, like on your first meet up with him,
Yeah.
did you know that this man is big, like in the streets?
I mean,
Because at some point, like even today, dog, like I always say, Fry Pan is our president. Yeah.
yeah.
He's the president of, like he's the one who birthed a lot of us in the streets.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
because if it was not by that dude, I don't think I'll be doing this. I don't think I would ever worked at an agency or doing what.
Yeah. Nah, definitely, bro. That's the guy. So, didn't really know about him, don't wanna lie.
Yeah.
Started knowing about him as soon as I attended like those MPO workshops.
Yeah.
So obviously I knew him because, you know, before the workshop started, he would come in front, you know, tell the people about the space,
Yeah.
what does it mean. So I was like, okay, so this is the guy behind this, you know, and, you know, didn't really interact with him a lot. I think up until he announced that it's gonna be, I think, the last one that they were doing. And I was so sad, bro, because
Before the venue, before the gig at Constitutional Way.
I think so, yeah. When he was announcing that it's gonna be the last one, that broke my heart, bro, because, you know, that gave me a sense of like belonging, and I was like, you know, belonging to a community of people. So I thought to myself that, okay, cool, if this ends,
Let me do that.
so it was like, you know, it was possible, you know, the thing. So I was like, okay, I need to have a sit down with him. And then I obviously went to him, but this is like I see the last session that they did. Started talking to him, gave me his number, because he kept on seeing me regularly. Okay. And then as soon as I told him that I was from the Vaal triangle, he was like, okay, cool, you know, gave me his number. Like I said, we had to sit down. And we've just been maintaining contact ever since. Yeah, ever since, bro. So, yeah.
So what's the challenges of MakeThingsMake and let's start there.
The challenges of it,
Challenges.
they never stop, they never the same. You know, the more you grow, the more challenges, the more new challenges come. You know? I'm saying this to say this to you, like what we were struggling with back in 2015 when we started cannot be the same shit that we're struggling with now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? So I don't know. You want me to tap into like what we were struggling with back then or now?
Okay, we're gonna start with back then.
Back then,
Yeah.
back then, number one was making people understand what's this all about. You know, like just getting people to come. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Just getting people to come. It was that, you know. Still kind of sort of is now, but now it's better because now
People know.
yeah, people now have
Yeah.
an understanding of what it might be.
Yeah.
You know? But back then it was something new. What the fuck is this? Blah 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 blah. So that was like the greatest challenge. And understand, you're doing this as a kid, you don't have any major sponsor backing, you know? So you don't have a huge social media following. You know, even when we post your shit, nobody's hardly ever sharing your shit, you know? So that was like one of the challenges. Number two, like I said, you know, having to fund this thing. You know, I have to pay for the venue. You know, you know, we have to get sound because now we have to get sound. We have to get like mics for the speakers. You know, nobody is paying for that. I have to hustle to pay for these things.
Yeah.
You know, small things such as now you, man, like having to allow you want to put out the workout, or maybe you have an installment coming through, you have to upload a poster, but there's somebody working on that for you, and that person, because now when you plan your things, you know you want this thing to drop on the stage, so that you can give it at least 2-3 weeks for it to breathe, for people to, now you're dealing with what do they call it, a graffiti artist that is only going to be sending you a poster 2 days before the workshop. When are you going to get the time to bucket the event? Those are the things that I can top of mind remember about, back in the days, right? Yeah, man, like, just honestly, like, really making your shit presentable and cool. Getting sponsors behind it. Not easy, bro. Not easy. But you say what were the challenges, but I look at them as blessings now. Because honestly, bro, like, I don't think the brand would have been this far. So far from where we want to be, but also far from where we started. So those things really helped me to evolve, be the best version of myself, to a point where now I can just design my own posters. You know what I'm trying to say? So that shit had to happen
For you
but when it happened, you feel like the world hates you, but it makes sense eventually. So those were the challenges back then. Yeah.
So now I went to, when was it? Last month? No, 2 months ago. The last MakeThingsMake. Was it 2 months ago? No, a month ago.
Yeah. It's a month ago.
Yeah, for me that was dope, man. I really loved how you brought us all there. Yeah, just to exchange contacts and then to exchange your struggles, and then you hear my struggles. I really love that. Like, yo man, go for it. Whatever that's gonna happen,
It's in the name.
Yeah.
It's in the name. Make things make.
Yeah.
People would ask, yo, why? What's up with the name, bro? Like, it's not that deep, guys, eh? Like, it's not that deep. It's in the name. Instead of me just saying make things happen, I say make things make. Because I'm just really obsessed with titles and whatever, naming things. So it's exactly about that, though. It's exactly about, man, like, because for me, what LPO did for me, it really changed how I see things and how I view life. So I feel like it's my responsibility to try to make the next kid experience what I experienced with these sessions that I hosted. And it's crazy because we've been speaking on what I've been doing back in the days when I started and shit not. Man, I want to say it now, using your platform to say, you have to do it, bro. Like, if it really means a lot to you, you really have to do it. You really have to do it. And I really just also want to say, I think it's a conversation we once had with the Concept Store guys who were part of that conversation, to say, I understand how cool it is to have these brands affiliated to your event or your brand, whatever, Obviously, without me not mentioning any specific brands, but I understand how cool it is to have, umbrellas of a specific brand at your event. It makes your event cool, right? And people take you more seriously when they such. But that should never stop you from actually doing it. Because I'm telling you now, bro, like, and this is just honestly based on experience, that when you do it, with or without them, they're gonna respect you. Whether they say it to your face, whether they tell somebody else, whether they don't say it anyway, but they're gonna respect you because they're gonna know
He did it without
whether I'm gonna commit whether we're gonna commit to going to this event, they're gonna know it's gonna happen irrespectively anyway, you know? So they should never really depend or lean, you know, towards these brands to make their ideas come alive. So that's something that I really thought like people need to understand, that even without people helping you out, do it, man. Do it. One thing that I live by also, I don't really like also this idea of, and I understand people do things differently. Personally, they would ask how come am I this consistent? And one thing about me would then be, or I would say to them, like, I don't really like postponing shit, because I have realized that when I postpone, whenever I'm doing it, man, the excitement and the novelty wears off. It's not the same anymore. So I'm a firm believer of just do it, bro. If you said you're gonna do it on the 10th, do it on the 10th, bro. Just use whatever that's within your disposal to make shit work. That's it. That's been my life, honestly. Yeah.
We've been talking a lot about Make Things Make. I know there's a project on the side that you're doing for the kids. Tell us more about the project and what is it that you're doing with the kids?
Yeah, I'm currently working on.
So there's 2 projects. Please don't spoil the other one for the 10th.
Oh yeah.
Just start with this one for the kids.
Yeah. So what you're asking about now is working on an after-school program called After School is After School. Why the name? Because the name resonates with a lot of us. You know, you knew what it meant when somebody said to you, after school is after school.
Yeah, sure.
So it's exactly that. Yeah, man, it's just a place where we are turning the aimless after school hours into productive learning time. So here we help kids with revision, we help kids with study tips, assignments, so yeah, doing this after school program at a school in my neighborhood. I used to work there as an assistant.
Okay.
And while I was there working as an assistant, I used to conduct extra classes.
Okay.
And obviously, these things, man, like the contract ended. But what didn't end was the bond that I created with the kids.
Yeah.
And the relationship that I have made with the parents.
Okay.
So I just decided to just like make it a thing. Just really make it a thing with or without the contract. So hence the program exists now. Yeah.
So who are you working with now? The school or straight the parents?
So I'm working with both.
Okay.
Right. So how it works is I was invited to do a presentation at a parents' meeting of the school. So obviously first I spoke to the principal of the school because we have a great relationship.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, cool, I endorsed the idea, let's do it, but come and speak to the folks. When they did a presentation, they loved it, but I was also specific and precise about it's not for everyone. Like if you really want your kid to be a part of it, let's do it, because when you really think about it, like, there's parents in my neighborhood that work 9 to 5s, goes to work at 7 o'clock in the morning, comes back home at 8 o'clock. By the time the parent gets back, it's load shedding. The kid now has nobody assisting him or her with the homeworks, and so we're trying to actually close that gap, so, and I come from a neighborhood that really doesn't have role models, so it's just a place where kids can have a sense of belonging and they can actually,
My brother, our time is killing us now. Let's just wrap it up with the 10th of November.
On the 10th of November, it's on my socials. We are doing an exhibition, a photo exhibition to be precise, titled Inda by My Children. And it's just really about us sharing captured moments of how is it like to grow up black in a neighborhood called Everton in the Vaal Triangle. So come through, come witness the greatness. It's between me and a phenomenal guy called Smiles.
Yeah.
You know,
Shout out to Smiles.
yeah, we're gonna be sharing a bit of dopeness with you guys. Yeah, it's just a place of people to reminisce about how was it like to grow up black, and you know, just to really tap into our inner child inside. So that's what's up. That's happening on the 10th. It's happening on Concept Store.
So about the tickets and invitations, because I know for sure you have.
Yeah, so tickets have been out on the socials for like a week now, I think.
Yeah.
So we only created like a limited edition of tickets online. When I checked, I think we were halfway there. Not even halfway, bro. I think there's a couple of tickets left. I don't know, maybe we might be generous enough and create more.
Okay.
But it's free of charge. People can just go like and visit on Instagram. After school is after school. There's a link there.
Okay.
Just click, just get yourself a ticket or two. Come with a friend. You know, it's gonna be a day. It's gonna be a night because it's happening from 5 o'clock up until 8 o'clock in the evening on Friday. So yeah, man, it's a great place, great music, great conversations, great you know, stories to tell. So yeah, it's happening on the 10th of November, Friday, Concept Store, Funville Park.
Yeah.
Come witness the greatness. Yeah.
Tell me about like your. What are you listening to today? Music.
Ooh, man, today.
Like today when you're coming here.
You know what's crazy with me, bro? And I guess we're wrapping it up, right? What's crazy with me is that my ears are spoiled for choice. By that I mean the number of music genre that I consume in a day is crazy. I can listen to like 30 Seconds to Mars now. That's like alternative rock. In the next hour, I can listen to Mos Def. And then in the following hour, I can listen to like, you know what I'm trying to say? So it's a bit hard, bro. But today in the morning, I was listening to, I want to think of one, because I was listening to a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But I was listening to, what's this thing? Who's this guy? Sampa. Yeah, he dropped like an album. Oh, it's crazy. I was listening to it in the morning.
Yeah.
On my way here, I was listening to it. I was listening to a bit of music.
So can you give me like your top 5 tracks or your top 5 all-time artists that you can't go for like?
I cannot give you tracks, bro. That's unfair, right? But I can try to give you artists.
Because I'm gonna need like a playlist from you.
How many songs?
It has to be 10.
What vibe?
Any.
Because predominantly I listen to a lot of...
You just said to me you don't listen to strictly one.
Yeah. I don't listen to strictly one, but I listen to a lot of hip hop.
Okay.
Like, if I have to scale it, 70% is hip hop.
Which hip hop? The now hip hop?
So yeah, I'm glad that you even asked that. So I have an old soul. So I listen to a lot of old school hip hop.
Okay.
I listen to a lot of old school hip hop. I listen to a lot of old school R&B.
Okay.
I listen to a lot of old school kwaito.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of like old school house music. Yeah. So even my top 5, it's gonna be bad. But you know, I listen to like Lil Brother, Della Soul. I listen to why am I forgetting them now? Slum Village. I listen to Mobb Deep. I also dabble into like, who's this guy? Teddy Pendergrass. You know, I listen to a lot of old school shit. I listen to a lot of Tamia. You know, so that's me, bro. That's me. And we also have an event that we're doing, by the way. It's called Love and Peace, and it's just honestly about happens on a Sunday. It happens on a Sunday afternoon. People come there to drink their sound down. We listen. So we change venues.
Okay.
We've been hosting it at Sharpeville, right? So now we're looking into branching out. So, but the event is all about listening to a lot of old school R&B, a lot of old school hip hop, a lot of old school kwaito. So why? Like I said, I create what doesn't exist because I go to events and they don't play the type of music that I consume. So I decided to create a place where we listen to such music. Yeah, that's what's up.
Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you, man. man. Thank you for extending an invitation, bro.
Yeah,
It was
I
dope.
really appreciate you having being here. You understand? Because the whole time that me and you get to meet, it's when you are doing these things, and then you get to invite us and so on. So, bro, I mean, what I'm gonna say to you, bro, I mean, uNkulunkulu indlela zakhe asazi ukuthi uzenza kanjani. That is why all people will always say God works in mysterious ways.
Yeah,
And so on.
yeah.
So ngicela uqhubeke bro, ungapheli amandla endleleni uyazi kunjena, mara ke siyaqhubeka kunjalo bro. Ngifakele emandleni. Ngiyabonga mfethu ne.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Keep on keeping on, man.
Thanks man.
That's what's up.
Appreciate it. Beautiful people, thank you for watching this episode. Shout outs.
Yo.